Welcome back to Wrenches in Motion, where if it ain't broke, I ain't buying it. And today, we've got a trio of brokens. The first one hurts me, so let's take a look. Yes, the first one is the Dirtymax. The 2018 Silverado 2500 with the diesel. Now this was parked in front of the garage, and I wanted to take the Camaro for a drive. So I figured I'd just get in and move the truck, because I had just brought the truck and trailer back from New York. We've got 63,000 miles, and this happened. Yep, nothing. So I did get my scanner and tried to manually prime the fuel pump, and I couldn't hear anything, so I'm pretty sure the fuel pump's dead. The Jag came back. As you can see, it's kind of the worst for wear. I already started tearing it down to rebuild it. I was just going to do the mechanical stuff, but I talked to him and I think I can fix it for a whole lot cheaper than anybody else, so I believe I've got the job to fix it. Oh, let's go back to the trailer. The trailer there, the one on the left. Let's do the one on the right. The one on the right, the passenger side brake does not work, so I got to fix that. The one on the left, neither brake works, and when you put the meter in there, instead of reading like 3.5 ohms or whatever for one of the magnets working, or 1.5 for both of them working, it's reading open. So I've either got a break in a wire or something. So that trailer has no brakes. The Element, I got in to move it, and I turned the key and it won't even crank. Everything lights up, looks like it's going to do it, and then nothing happens. So I don't know if it's the starter or the neutral safety switch, but something's messed up, so we've got to dig in there. Okay, so broke number 2 is the Element. This was, my intention was to cut the grass because the grass is really long over here. So I'll jump in the Element, stick the key in, turn it on, and nothing. Alright, try again. Nothing. Does absolutely nothing. Oh, so I don't know if it is the starter, the neutral safety switch. Actually, you know what? If I could pull its cover off, I could probably put it in neutral, because I can't even put it in neutral right now. Oh, and this battery's going to die too. Well, that's just fantastic. Whoops, I didn't break that. Alright, well, we do have it up in the air quite a bit. Blocks of wood to hopefully stabilize it. I mean, the bed seems fairly stable. It don't seem like it wants to go anywhere. Yeah, they're resting on the tire for extra support. So we come in here. We got gray connector, 4 fuel lines, one with one with a hose clamp, and then 3 that are looks like they're the like squeeze the plastic thing, and then you can pop the hoses off. So I think we're gonna, I'd really like to go one more just to give me a little bit more room, but I mean, heck, we're almost, we're up that high already. So let me just get in there. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I am going to grab a light though, because this little flashlight thing I got's not going to work. So we got the new pump, and yeah, I guess. The problem is they didn't give me a new ring that goes down. They gave me a new seal, but I was really hoping to get a new lock ring. So now that I don't have that, I really got to be careful taking that one out. All right. Sheesh. Yeah, if it ain't one thing, it's another. All right. You guys probably ain't gonna be able to see anything I'm doing here, but we'll try to get the camera in here. Maybe. Oh man, it's in there. Oh, don't drop that. You need that. Alright. Is that loose enough? I don't know. Let's go a little more. We'll get the other screwdriver when we tighten it down, just to make sure we get it tight, because we don't want to leak diesel fuel all over the place. Okay, fine, be that way. So this here, it's got a little lock thing first. And then you should be able to push that down. Pull our connector out like that. Okay. Now, these three, we're gonna have to get you off the camera, because I'm gonna have to get in there at a weird angle and try to squeeze these things together. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. So I gotta try to get those off. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, well, we're back in. Those two clips are gonna be missing for now. And it's probably gonna spray fuel all over the place, but I'll tell you what. In the end, it's a lot higher than I thought it was gonna be. It's almost leveled with the roof of the truck. I had to put this last 4x4 in here to get it high enough to get the pump out. So that being said, let's I'm gonna get you over here and see if you can hear the fuel pump prime. I should be able to hear it too. I don't think I heard anything. So that was not the problem. Oh boy. Oh. Well, I really didn't want to do that. Holy cow. And that didn't fix it? Okay, time to do some more troubleshooting. Let's see if we get 12 volts back here when we're trying to crank it. Well, I do have to clear one thing up. The silver box that I was looking at, that silver module, that's not the fuel pump controller, that's actually the trailer brake controller. To get to the fuel pump driver module, lower the spare tire, and on the right side, come up from underneath, there's two 10mm bolts and one of those slide connectors. Take that out. It's pretty simple to replace. You don't need to take the bed off. If your truck decides to die, I would not recommend doing the fuel pump first. I would recommend the control module first. It's cheaper, it's easier to get to, and it should get you on the road. So as we start today, let's take a look. We got a bumper, one of these fiberglass, I don't want to call it a crash bar, but whatever it is. We've got the two headlights, These plastic things. We got a tail light. And oh yeah, over here we got a hood. And I believe I'm going to sacrifice the grill I wanted to hang up in the garage to get this done. And coming over here, I think the first thing we're going to do, besides take leaper off, is we're going to unbolt the hood, take the hood off. I don't know what the heck's going on with leaper up here, but and then once the hood's off, we're going to just hook a chain around here, pull that out, try to hook a jack over here, pop that up, and see if we can't get this thing somewhat straight. This needs to come up a little bit too, so we'll do that. And yeah, I guess that's the redneck fix. He wants it done cheap. I told him how much I could do it for. He said okay. So that's what we're gonna do. Hood off first. Oh, before we pull this off, we're gonna take all this fiberglass piece out of here. It's like mangled and stuff, so we'll get that out of the way, give us more room to pull on stuff. Yeah, once we get it, oh, we're not going to put it in the carport first. We're going to try to yank on it first and then pull it in the carport. And for the trio of wreckedness, or at least cars that are down, the Jaguar. Yeah, you may remember I sold this, and the guy says he hit somebody, someone ran a stop sign or something. Yeah, you can see the hood's buckled. So let me, I've already started taking this apart. So let me get this bumper out of the way and let me show you some of the bad stuff. All right, so in here, this course port is pushed down and like tweaked a little bit. So I think we're just gonna try to get something and try to lift that up, make this go straight again. There's the bend right there. I do have another one of these. This whole fiberglass piece here, I just picked that up. This part of the fender that's bent, not a big deal, bend that. One of the bummer things is this is bent, and I thought, well, I'll just unbolt it and get a new one. That's where you thought wrong. You can't just unbolt it because it's spot welded in there. So we'll hook a chain around here, hook it up to the tractor, pull it out. We'll do the redneck fix here. When he told me that it was broken and he was going to take it to a body shop after I checked it out mechanically, and I was going to change the transmission fluid for him, my dummy, I said, well, I can fix that for about this much. And he said, okay, well, go ahead. So, like, I really need more work. But anyway, the reason I'm saying this is because there's a white S-Type in the junkyard. And let's take a walk over here. The wagon did me well today. And I managed to get a bumper cover and that fiberglass piece in the back. I got a tail light, which wasn't bad until I guess maybe some equipment was moving it around and busted the tail light for him. So I got a new tail light lens. I got one headlight, and tomorrow I'm going to go pick up the other headlight, and I'm going to have to order the fog lights on eBay or something like that because nobody around here has them. There's a place 262 miles away that's got a pair, but I'm not driving that far. So yeah, pull that out, pull that up. Be a good time to have the skid loader running, wouldn't it? Yeah, unfortunately that's not going to happen. do some hammering, banging, get that, you know, somewhat straight. We'll put that other piece in there, and then hopefully be able to go get a hood. So now that we're talking, well, we got to have the truck running. I'm going to try to do the fuel pump from the top. So I've got the bed loosened on the right side. There's 4 18mm bolts over there, and I've got these taken out. There's 4 over here as well. I just got a 4x4 shoved in there for now, and I'm hoping, I don't have a flashlight with me, but I'm hoping I can get it up high enough to reach in and get the fuel pump out, which is, I think, like up here in the front. Yeah, I think I can see it. So we're gonna have to get this probably about a foot in the air, just enough so I can get in there. And these 3 here are 7mm. Take them out, drop the fuel filler down. And the last thing to worry about is back here, the wire harnesses. I think we gotta disconnect these so we can pull the bed up higher and not stress the wires. And then I think, yeah, we'll push it up and see if we can get in there. I didn't even look at the fuel pump yet. I just opened the box. There it is. Genuine GM equipment, guaranteed to last another 60,000 miles. I don't know how many pieces this is going to come off in, but just about everything's a 10. So let us get the 10 on here. Yeah, we're just going to go. Probably should be like watching, taping this stuff or something, but yeah, whatever. This is the hardest part right here, is the wire harness, because you gotta, when you put it in, you're gonna have to slide it underneath the wire harness. It's kind of a pain. Let's see here. Here now. That bracket bent. Get that out of there. This thing here is totally bent. That bracket out of there. This one here, this bracket over here, looks like it's just spun that way. So we'll unbolt the fender from it, and then we'll unbolt this, and then we'll probably just spin that bracket back around. Ugh. Bits and pieces broken everywhere. I thought that might actually come out. Maybe not. What is holding it though? I don't know. Oh, I have my good one of these. Left it at the junkyard. So someone got a nice one. Now I'm stuck with this cheap eBay special. Oh, is that why you're not coming out? You're loose. But you can't, yeah, you can't get over that. Okay. Oh, come on. come out. Like that, there's one piece. If this frame rail is pushed over, I might not be able to fix this as easy as I thought. Yeah, another piece. Alright, so what's going on over here with this piece? That bracket's out. That's out. Leave that bracket right there. No, we can stay there for now. Well, it sure acts like something else is holding this thing in. It pops off the fender. Wire harness pops off of it. All right, I'll come back when I get this thing off. You guys don't need to see all this. Well, we got it pulled out halfway straight. Kind of happy with that. Still got to do the core support, but what I was looking at was how bad these frame rails actually are. I'm going to hook up and try to pull, but no guarantees. I think what I might end up doing is just go ahead and taking this whole bar off, even though it's going to be a pain. Maybe the only way to get that thing out of there. Grind out the spot welds, take that bar off and pull each individual frame rail. But we'll see. I mean, right now I'm not too hopeful that it's going to pull, and if it doesn't, we may just end up getting creative with how we bolt everything back on. I mean, I think we can get it to look decent. Oh, I did some metal bashing. We got the headlights to fit. I'm not real happy with the driver's side. It should be sticking out a little bit, not inside the fender like this one is. So everything may have to be shifted a little bit more to the left. However, I don't know that I can do that. I've tried pulling the frame rails and they're not moving, and that is what the problem is right now, is the frame rails are pushed to the driver's side and I can't pull them back to the other side. So I'm just going to throw the hood on, see how that fits. You got these neat little things here, which take a look at real quick. So these are in there, and the way you get them out is you push the center dot down and then these lift out, sort of, okay, just like that. So we got those. And then under these covers, like this one here and these, are some T20s. So you gotta take them out, and then you can take the plastic cowl off. And the reason we're doing that is because in order to get to the hinges, you gotta take the cowl out so you can actually get in there and get those bolts out. I did not do it in the junkyard. I used a wrench, which is a real pain, so I don't want to repeat that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these off. The wipers are a 13 millimeter, and they just rock them back and forth and pop the wiper arms off. All right, so let's continue. Okay, so I put the old hinges on, and it's a little better, but still not. The whole thing has got to get pushed to the left, and I don't have the capability to do it. So now I get to call him and let him know that I'm not gonna be able to fix his car, and he's gonna have to take it somewhere else. Yeah, the Element still won't even crank. So the ticket to that is gonna be pulling off the intake and seeing if I got 12 volts to the starter for the signal wire. If I don't, then I got to go to the neutral safety switch and see if that's working. So yeah, lots of things going on, and seemingly no time to get any of them done. So the Element, we all know, wouldn't start, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be the starter, the ignition switch, or the neutral safety switch. So it's in park right now, and what I did is I took the intake off, and if you can see, this is the trigger wire for the starter, and I've got the hooked up to the positive side of the meter, negative to the ground, and I should see 12 volts on the meter when we try to start it. And if I can get it up here, okay. Oh, and I took the key out, of course. Give me a second to find it. All right. Key acquired. Doors open. I don't know if you can see it from here, probably not. Let me roll this window down. Maybe I can reach in and do it. All right, so if the neutral safety switch is good, we should have 12 volts when we go to start it. So here we go. Trying to start, and we get 12 volts. Which means we're getting the signal to the starter to start, and the starter's saying, I don't think so. So it looks like we're going to be ordering a starter for this. And of course it's way in there, so we're going to take all this intake stuff out of here. The intake, we're going to take that out so that we've got room to get at the starter, which is a real pain. Alright, so hope you enjoyed that part. At least we know what it is. Alright, so this is how we're getting the starter out of the Element. If you look down, we've got the two electricals disconnected. There's a bottom bolt. I'll try to get you in there. Right there. That is a 17 millimeter. And then this one on top is a 14 millimeter. But you can't get a socket on there because if you look right there, you'll see the knock sensor. So your tool of choice here is going to be a ratcheting wrench. And of course I have one right here, so let's get started. Okay, I know you guys like to see people actually working on cars, so what I'm doing is I'm lifting up the starter and trying to take out that top bolt. I did the bottom one already, and what it does is as you start loosening the bolt, the starter wants to fall and then puts tension on the bolt, and you can't turn it. So one hand to lift it, one hand to get the bolt out, and then we got to try to get it around all these electrical connections. Here we go again. And it's very important when you put this back together, put the starter in, hook it up, and hook up the knock sensor before you put the intake back on, because you're not hardly going to be able to reach it. And just like that, we've got our starter out. So we're going to go bench test it and see what we get. This should be fun. Well, the car's in the way, so just bear with me here. So we got our cables hooked up, our hot going to the hot, ground going to there. This is going to be our trigger wire. So we'll hook this up, and hopefully we'll get some. Hopefully we'll get nothing, actually. That's the plan, anyway. Get nothing. If it starts now, then there's an issue. Wow, that was quick. Nothing. Alright, double check everything here because it did go click. That's on, that's on. Alright, those are on. Uh-oh. It's working. So why wouldn't it work in the truck? Could it just have been stuck, maybe? I'm glad I didn't order one. Alright, I'm satisfied. Let's put this thing back in and see what happens. That is weird. I was not expecting that. Alright, just a little update real quick. Starter's back in. 14 millimeter for that long, weird looking bolt. 17 for the other bolt. I'm going to hook up the power and the trigger source and the battery. And I'm just going to go in and just hit the key and see what it does. And hopefully it cranks. Because it didn't do that before. Well, here goes nothing. We'll see what it does. It may not do anything. And it did nothing. Okay, well, we know the starter's good. We know it's getting signal. We know it's got power. Okay, here's a good one for you guys in the Honda know. You know Hondas are real particular about their grounds. So if I measure on the battery and turn the key, it stays right about 12.5 volts, maybe 12.3 when I crank it. If I take the lead and I go down to the ground that's on the transmission and I hit the key, it drops down to 7 volts. So I've got a feeling the starter's good. It's my negative battery cable. Okay, so instead of springing for the cable, I took the negative cable off the transmission and it was all corroded, so I cleaned up down there with this. And I used the drill with the wire wheel to clean up the cable end. Put it back together. I still got all this stuff yet, but let's give it a crank and see what it does. At this point, I don't know. Could be good, could not be good. Well, there you have it. All that work, and it was a bad ground. Something told me it's a Honda. Check your grounds. Okay, let me see if I can somewhat get you in there. So make sure, once again, that the knock sensor is hooked up, or you'll get a, and it is not. You'll get a P325 code if that's not hooked up. Alright, let's see if we can move this just a little bit. There we go. Get this thing hooked back up. It's not in a good position, really, and the clip doesn't lock. And I don't know if you saw the other video on the Element, but I thought I must have got a bad sensor because it doesn't clip on. But I tried the old sensor and it didn't clip on there either. So it's just going to slide on there. Alright, let's pop this intake back on. And like I said, don't be scared, you can reuse these gaskets. This is probably about 4 or 5 times for this set, or for this gasket right here. They're metal, so they take a beating. Put you all the way on. Get out of here. There we go. All right. Yeah, you probably won't see, but
There's 2 nuts on the top, 3 bolts on the bottom, and that's all there is to put the intake back on. And of course, if you lose your nuts and bolts, and you definitely ain't gonna be able to put it back on. Normal intake stuff. Start at the beginning, circle your way out when you torque these down. I don't have a torque spec. I just crank them down until they feel right. Then I ain't never had a problem, so I'm just gonna keep doing it that way. Yeah, so that one goes right on. This one here is having issues. I don't know why. Let's get our 12. See if we just. Well, let's do this the quick way. Let's get this thing done. I'm excited. Oops. I just got this, and I am so glad I did. I don't know what took me so long to get one, but yeah, I'm real happy with it so far. I haven't had it that long, so you know I can't really be too happy about it, but for what it does, yeah, I'm happy. It saves me all kinds of time, and that's really what it's all about. I mean, when you're out here working on this stuff, especially if it's for a customer, you kind of want to get it done. And with me having only 2 broken cars, but this is going to be fixed, so only 1 broken car now. Yeah. Okay, let's put you back on. There we go. Ground wire. Well, I am so glad I didn't order a starter. Something told me don't order one. Sometimes you just gotta listen to yourself. And other times you don't. Other times you just, you know, wing it, whatever. And I just lost my 10mm socket. No, I didn't. I was gonna say, isn't that the socket everybody loses? The 10? Sure enough. Wonder why. Especially Honda Tech. Alright, that's on. So the clamp for this broke. Not the clamp, but the screw for the clamp. And I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. So we're just gonna put it on and hope for the best. Notice the air filter's nice and clean. Well, I'd really like to make this, make sure this goes in right. Alright, I'm going to shut you off. I'm just going to put this back together. Okay, just to give you guys a quick finish to the element video. And it runs. Oh my gosh, that was some troubleshooting, but hopefully you guys learned something about that. Okay, so this version of the video's entertainment is going to be brakes on the TSX Wagon. When I took it in for inspection, the pads were really worn down, so I've got pads and rotors. And let me get them out and I'll show you what we got, and we'll go from there. And also, if you were here you'd be listening to I Fought the Law by The Clash. Sometimes I think the unboxing is the best part. So we've got front rotors, front pads, rear pads, and that should be enough to take care of what we got. They're all Wagner parts. I've been using Wagners for years and years and years, so should be good stuff. Let's go ahead and get the car jacked up. I think we're going to do the fronts first because those should be the easiest. Because the backs, you got to spin the piston of the caliper back in. The fronts, you just got to press. So let's get the hood popped up, get this thing up on jack stands, and get these wheels off. Well, we get to our first issue. The dust shield has rusted away, so that's no longer present. I could hear something, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, and then I just grabbed that and pulled it right out. So, yeah, you can see the scrape marks on it. Grab it. You got scrape marks up there. You can see them in the light. Down there you can see scrape marks. Right there you can see real bad ones. So we may order those. I think through Accurate are like 13 bucks or something like that. So yeah, so we got that. The lower control arm bushing in the front is not the greatest. It's not dead yet, so we're just going to leave it. And then what we'll probably end up doing sometime is just doing the control arms, and we'll do the dust shield at the same time. Yay, more parts. Alright, pretty simple so far. There's two 17mm bolts holding the bracket on. I'm going to try to take the bracket and the pads off at once, and then put the bracket back on, lube the caliper pins, and then put the pads back in. Maybe. Should come off of there. Oh, sometimes they really get stuck on there, as you can see. You gotta watch this rubber line though. Don't pull too hard on that. Otherwise you'll be in for a bad day. So got our caliper off. I think what I'm going to do is use some zip ties and hold this up here so it doesn't fall and pull on that rubber line. And then we'll get to work. We're going to use a hammer to knock this off because it gets rusted on there. Well, I looked at the pads. The pads are good. The rotors are good. So maybe it was the back brakes he was talking about. I don't know, but these are 14s that hold the caliper to the bracket. I already broke them loose because they were on there pretty tight. So get them out of there. Now, this should just slide off, just like that. And now we're gonna have to hang this. Oh, no, just throw it right there. All right. So, it's zip tied. So as you can see, there's plenty of pad left. We're gonna change them anyway because we have them and we're here. And let's check. Oh, there we go. There's the sliders working. Come on. Oh. A little bit stuck, but they're sliding now. Alright, no need to grease those are fine. Okay, notice these things on here. These are a real pain. They like to pop up when you're trying to put the caliper back on. Kind of a pain, so we're gonna put those on the new pads, of course. And we got new pads right here. We're gonna grease these slides here so that the pads slide nice and easy, which, I mean, they do, but alright, as you can see, these chunks of metal here. Alright, get them out of there. Get this other pad out. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna clean those up before we grease them. So let me get the brake cleaner and we'll get to it. Okay. So I'm just gonna say this. The pads come with new stainless hardware. I don't like to put new stuff in because I've had a couple occasions where the new stuff doesn't fit and then you gotta put the old stuff back in anyway. So what I'm using is the Ultra Brake Parts lubricant. Ah, yes. Grease on a stick. How can you beat that? So just a little bit of grease in here. I never used to use this stuff, and then living in New York seems like everybody uses this, so I'm not in New York anymore, but I figured I may as well start using it. Alright, so the rotors I got are electrostatically coated to prevent rust. And you all know, before you put rotors on, go ahead and hit them with the brake cleaner, get rid of all the oil. And they put that protective oil on there so they don't rust in packaging. You don't want rusty rotors when you get them. Alright. Drop the rotor on there. And it is a Honda. So, oh nice, this doesn't even have the screw holes to mount them. Which is nice, because trying to put those screw holes in, or trying to put those screws in and take them out is kind of a pain, so I'm glad they don't have them. Let's see if we get the pads back in here. Should be able to pop them up, slide them in. And maybe not. Alright, it's gonna take some work. So give me a second. Okay, so we got the pads are in. I don't have the little spring things on yet. I have the bracket bolts started. So the way I like to do this, you know, everybody's different. Some people don't do it like this. Whatever way you want to do it is fine. I like to start them first and then put the anti-seize. You know, take one out, anti-seize it, put it back in, and then do the same with the other one. That way they're in position and we don't get anti-seize all over the place. Only halfway all over the place. We all know what anti-seize does. Makes you look like the Tin Man. Alright, why are you... Alright, where's the socket? I'm just going to try running them in with a little impact. See how well they go. They should slide right in. Should. Oh, I don't put it right in. Okay. Now I'll get the ratchet, torque them down hard, and then what we need to do is we need to compress the piston in the caliper. So we'll do that with our little piston compressing tool, and then put the little springs on, throw the caliper on, bolt the caliper in, and this side will be done. Okay, so before we do this, take your cover off of your brake master cylinder, and then these should, there we go, spin right in. Oh my gosh, that's hard. That shouldn't be that difficult. Oh my gosh, that's hard. if these won't compress, then it's time for new calipers. Well, it looks like they're compressing. They're just really hard to do. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna need calipers pretty soon. Oh my gosh, maybe sooner than later. Whew. Wow, what can I grab that with? That hurts the hand. It's going, but it's not happy about it. Okay, we finally got our piston compressed. That was more of a challenge than it should have been. So let's put these clips on our pads so we can pop them off and lose them. What they like to do is spread the pads out, which sometimes makes for getting the caliper on kind of a tricky proposition. I'm gonna try to. Oh, maybe they'll stay. If they stay, that's awesome. Oh, oh. Make sure you don't coil up your line. There we go. Push the pins in. Caliper slides right on. Here are 14mm bolts. I don't anti-seize these because they're inside, fully enclosed, so they don't get weathered on. Oh, come on. These are supposed to be the easy ones. The brackets are the hard ones. Alright, that one's going in. That one's going in. Alright, there we go. Okay, this side's done. Only 3 more to do. I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel on right away. After I torque down the caliper bolts, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel on. I'm gonna clean this side up and head over to the other side. Okay, so here we are at the rear brakes. Almost real time. I did break the caliper bolts loose. I got one out. Take the caliper off. Come on. Yeah, I said we're going to take the caliper off. Or not. Ugh. So these pads back here are bad. So these are the ones the inspector was talking about. I already did the other side. So I figured I'd bring you along on this side. Holy cow, this thing's on there. Come on. Get off of there. Alright. Whew. Alright. Anti-rattle things. It's only got one pin. I don't know why. That one's still got some beef to it. That one's, I mean, they weren't totally dead, so I don't get it, but whatever. We're here. Let's do some brakes. These are a little tricky. The knuckle kind of gets in your way of this top bolt. So I guess I could probably use an extension, but I'm kind of lazy to go get it. So we're just going to try to get it off like this. Ow! Yeah, they not really in there that tight. I think I've got anti-seize on here. I thought it was going to be tighter than that. Anyway. Alright, there's one. These are 17s. The caliper bolts are 12s, not 14s like the front. Super easy. You can see the caliper bracket already is loose. In the world? Spiders. I hate spiders. If you know me at all, you know I hate spiders. Not a whole lot of things I hate, but spiders is definitely one of them. I know they've got a job to do, yada yada yada, but you know what? Doesn't mean I have to like them. Alright. Take the bracket off. Get a nice new rotor. What do we do first, ladies and gentlemen? Spray them down, that's right. You guys know. Get the oil off there. Those rotors actually don't look like they were all that bad. But, you know what? I got the new ones. They're going on. Alright, let's clean this bracket up. We'll put the bracket back on, and then we'll slide the pads in, and then I'll show you how to wind that caliper back in. Okay, so if you can see, there's like a X pattern in here, and my tool has got these knobs that are going to go in there, and when you turn it, the pressure is going to push on here, because you need to put pressure in and turn at the same time. So let me move you over here, so that maybe you can see what I'm doing. Just gonna throw this up here. Come on, plate, get in there. Okay, once the knobs are inside there, I turn this backwards to put pressure on it, and then you just go ahead and turn, and that should be spinning in the caliper piston. And then tighten this up again because this keeps coming loose. And in just a few seconds, or less than 5 minutes, you'll have your piston spun back in, and you can put it over your pads and everything will fit. So we'll be testing that theory out here very soon. Okay, that's it. Now, at this point, piston spun back in. Let's grab our pads and put our pads back in. Once we put this back on. I don't know why that fell out, but it did. So let us, one pad. Whoops, where'd it go? Hey, where'd my other brake pad go? Okay, serious now. Where'd the other pad go? Oh, it's right in front of me. Jeez. Doesn't any closer, it'll bit me. Can you still see? Kind of? Okay. This we're going to put on the inside. Let's drop that on there. Okay, pads are in. Now, once again, we've got those, well, you know what they're called. I don't know what they're called. Probably anti-rattle clips or something similar to that. The back ones, remember the front ones, they didn't really start spreading apart until you put both of these on. But on the back ones, as soon as you put the first one on, the pads want to spread out. So, we'll get them in there. Try to hold it down the best we can. Grab our caliper. Now, once the caliper gets over the pads, we're good. Like that. Okay. We had to push the pins in a little bit to get the caliper on, no big deal. And now we lost the caliper bolts. There's one, there's two. Okay. Gee. I'm hoping this is just going to go nice and smooth like it should. No issues. We'll grab our 12 millimeter as it runs away. There you go. Back brake's done in a matter of, what, 5 minutes? Awesome. Let's throw the tires back on after we wash them. Wash the rims anyway. And then we'll take this thing out and bleed the brakes. Or not bleed the brakes. We'll bed the brakes. That's all the time we have for today's video. We did the truck off camera. I replaced the fuel pump driver module, dropped the bed back down, put it all back together. Truck runs fine. You saw us fix the element, got that running again. And the Jaguar, well, the frame rails are bent pretty good. I tried hooking up a tractor to it and pulling it, and I can't pull the frame rails straight. So it's probably going to have to go to a frame shop, and then we'll see if they can pull them straight, and if not, then we've got to figure out our options. So once again, that's it for now. Keep the rubber side down, keep your wrenches in motion.